Appreciate it. Good morning. Well, we are excited to be back home, that's for sure. A couple games on the road, and good to get back in the Valley. Really going to need our crowd. This is, we've been unbelievable all year with the type of crowd that we've had and this type of support. I think our crowd has made a huge difference for us, and as they do every year, and certainly going to need them again this week with this bunch. And as Ross mentioned, I'm excited about honoring Bobby Bowden, and just, all that he meant to this league, the game of football, so many young people, Florida State, and this game, the Clemson-Florida State game. So, a lot of great moments with Coach Bowden roaming the sidelines down there. So have so much respect, for him. I learned a lot from him. And certainly his family. And then also it's the first game that Tommy Bowden is going to be back. He's not been to a game here since he left, and I think it's a good opportunity to recognize and also show appreciation for all that he did for Clemson, when he was here as well. And so look forward to seeing him and again, just, have an opportunity to honor the Bowdens there. And it's our breast cancer awareness game. It's something that we always look forward to. We get excited about our foundation. It's a huge part of what we do, and really appreciate WCCP and the Tigers for Tatas campaign and all that y'all do to help the cause. It's truly saved lives, impacted people's lives, and so I think I'm coming to hang out with Qualk and Kelly tomorrow at Bojangles, I think. So look forward to coming over for that. And but appreciate all the support in the campaign this week and making a difference. Injury-wise, it's pretty well documented what we've dealt with this year. Really crazy. And we do hope to get at least 3 guys back. We feel like we're going to have Rayburn and Ngata and EJ, which is huge for us, especially coming off of last week. So, still not sure about Jake Venables. I'd say he's probably going to be, close, but may not know for sure till game time on him. But we giveth and taketh. So we're going to lose another guy this week. Unfortunately, Kobe Pace is going to be out. He's going to be in COVID protocol, so we'll have to go without him. So thankful that we got Shipley back last week, and we'll go with the 2 freshmen and Rencher will be our 3 running backs going into the game. So. Again, just been a kind of a crazy year from some of those challenges, but excited to see those other guys, take advantage of the opportunity. And as far as Florida State, really impressed with what they've done. Obviously, they started out 0-4, and I'm really impressed with what they've done. Number one, as a coaching staff, to be 0-4, I think it says a lot about what. Mike and the staff have done to create belief in their team and to keep them going. A couple of heartbreaking losses in those first 4, but they really have played a lot better these last 3, and I think this quarterback is the key. He has really settled them down. I think he's a very confident player. He's tough. You can tell he's a natural leader for them. Everybody believes in him. And he makes plays. I mean, he can beat you. He can flat out beat you by himself. They're doing a great job schematically and really, taking advantage of his gifts. And I mean, because he can throw the ball down the field, but man, he can just move. They get him out of the pocket a lot. They got some design runs. He's a great scrambler. He's created a lot of explosives. I mean, I think he's the leading rusher ever already at Florida State. And they've had some pretty good quarterbacks roll through there, as we know. So this kid is dangerous. He's hard to corral. Even when you blitz him, he makes people miss. And when you're playing man coverage and somebody misses, it's a huge play. You saw that in the Syracuse game at the very end. You know, he scrambles out and he's gone down the sideline, and they kick a game-winning field goal. But really, really impressed with their quarterback and then their running backs. I mean, you know, they're leading the nation in October in yards per carry, and both backs average over 7 yards a carry. So they're doing a great job with their run game and with the backs and the quarterback. And then probably the thing that's really flipped the script for them is the first 4 games they had 11 turnovers. And then in the last 3, they've had 3 turnovers. Usually kind of goes hand in hand. So doing a nice job. Again, you know, 13th in the nation in running the ball, and then the big plays, lots of big plays, huge, like monstrous, explosive big plays in the run game and a few in the passing game as well that have come off their ability to run the ball. You know, the running back Zero, he's had 2 75-plus yard runs. He's the only back in the FBS to do that this year. So this is an explosive group that's playing with a lot of confidence, and we're gonna have to play really well. And for us, you know, it's just, you know, finding a way to win, and then you know, go from there. You know, focus on what we control. That's our preparation, our attitude, and how we finish from this point. And you know, good start yesterday, and excited about the challenge this week. And then again, just finish up on a couple things about the breast cancer. You know, 1 in 8 U.S. women will develop invasive breast cancer over their lifetime, and about 43,600 women in the United States are expected to die this year from breast cancer. And it is the most commonly diagnosed cancer among women in the state of South Carolina. So appreciate the support, and again, the Tigers for Tatas campaign, and you know, helping continue to make a difference, you know, against this you know, horrible disease. So with that, I'll take your questions. And well, before I do that, let me talk about their defense. I got caught up in their quarterback. Their defense is playing very well. I thought they, early on in the season, gave up some big plays structurally. So much more discipline now structurally. Their defensive front's creating pressure. Number 11 is probably the best defensive end we've seen. You know, he is a great football player. He's playing with a lot of confidence. They're huge inside, big bodies. They've changed what they're doing structurally from the first couple of games, you know, to a little bit more of a split safety type of deal. I think that's helped them. And, you know, again, another really, really, you know, challenging group defensively, playing with a lot of confidence. And so it's a good football team across the board that's way better than their record, that's for sure. Any questions?
Coach, listening to Will Shipley yesterday, you can tell he's a young man who wants to be that guy to help his team get back on track. Do you have to manage just a little bit that he doesn't press too much to try to be that guy and stay within himself?
Say that one more time, the last part.
Do you have to manage that component that he doesn't press too much to try to be that guy to get this offense going?
No, I don't think so. I think he just needs to be who he is. You know, that's who he's always been, and you know, he's. I mean, what you see is what you get. I mean, he is a great young talent, and he's already unfortunately had to miss a couple games. But I mean, just the fact that he came back the way he came back, I mean, it's amazing. You know, how hard he worked to overcome an injury, and he plays with a lot of heart, a lot of passion, a lot of toughness. He's an explosive player, and you know, he's like a blade of grass from. And some of that, I think, is just being a freshman and really kind of really settling in to you know, where he is at this stage in his career. But I don't want to change anything about Will Shipley. I just want to be who he is and keep going. And, you know, obviously missed a big play last week, but, man, he's made some plays, and he's going to make a lot of them. He'll make a bunch of those throughout his career. But a great natural leader. And he and Maffa are that's two special freshmen right there, and that's a positive. You know, I know everybody focuses on all the bad that's happening right now and the disappointment of where we are in this season right now. But we're actually doing some good things in a lot of areas. We're running the ball well. Those two kids have really taken advantage of their opportunities, and they're getting better and they're learning, and we got a really bright future. And obviously Kobe's a sophomore, and same thing with him. So we've got a good group there, and that has been a bright spot what those young guys are doing.
Dabo, like you said, there's a lot of bad that's happening now. Your words there, but like, what have you learned from the build-up to this season and this season that you think you can apply going forward?
Well, I mean, football's tough. I mean, there's some things that I think you just have reinforced. I mean, football's a tough game, and sometimes it can, you can have a year where you deal with a lot of craziness, and it's kind of our year when it comes to that. I've never had a year like this with the type of injuries that we've had ever. I mean, you got 14, 15 guys out for the year, and it's just crazy. And I'm not talking about just guys on the roster. I mean, these are players that would be traveling with us and playing and starting and being impactful. So I think it's been, I think, reinforcing, the little things that it takes to win, how hard it is to win, how small the margin for error is. And, this team, the margin's really small right now, and we're kind of on the wrong side of that margin, 3 times. In position to win every game, every single game, it's right there. So I think, the biggest thing, again, is I think you have an opportunity to learn from the struggle. I mean, that's what you do. You teach, and we're getting a chance to teach a lot of great lessons to a lot of young kids in this team that are going to be back here, and we'll be able to, know what it feels like, to lose. We got a lot of guys coming into the season that really hadn't lost much at all, and so this has been a challenge for sure. But you got to embrace it, and you keep rolling, and you try to lean on the foundation of the program. You go back to the basics, which is effort, it's toughness, it's being physical, it's belief in yourself, it's belief in team, it's your routine, it's the preparation, it's details, it's fundamentals, it's technique. How important those things are when the margin for error is so small, and you're having to play. I mean, continuity is important. I said this last night. I mean, in 7 games, we've started 43 guys. In 7 games, 43 players. And last year in COVID, which is the craziest year we've all dealt with, we played 12 games. And, every week was, you were dealing with, all kind of different things. And we played 40 guys. We started 40 guys in 12 games. And then in 2018, that's a 15-0 team. We started 32 guys. And so continuity is very important in the game of football. And that's been something that's been we've had it on defense. We've had a guy just way more depth defensively, but we've played good defense. I thought that was our worst game the other night, but we've played good defense all year. Those guys have responded, and they've played well enough to be undefeated. Same thing with our special teams. But it takes a team, and we just haven't been where we need to be offensively. And we know what the issues are. We know what the problems are. We don't need anybody to let us know what the problem. We know. We're here every day. That's what we do, and we've been doing it for a long time at a very, very, high success rate. But I think again, you lean on the foundation, and you do everything you can to develop the type of continuity that you need.
As you talk about that foundation, it sounds like Tyler and Trey really pushed through a lot to play last Saturday. How much do you hold that up as an example to everybody else and as evidence of that foundation that you're?
It's important to them. It's important to these guys. There's nobody that cares more than these players. These guys invest a ton, man. Backhorse, he's been hurt for. Man, that kid, as you talk about, give every ounce of everything he has and had to this program. We've had guys, E.J. Williams, same thing. He played hurt the first however many games out there, dragging his leg around, and what didn't. We finally had to make him get the surgery. And we've got a bunch of guys like that, man. I mean, tons of guys, because they care. It's important to them. They take pride in the Paul. They pride in this program. Everybody hurts. Tyler Davis, I mean, he was mad that he couldn't keep playing. We had him on a pitch count, and he ran out of pitches in the third quarter there, and we couldn't put him back in. But that was kind of where we were, and but he wasn't even going to play. And then Wednesday night, he's just, he wants to play. So they finally huddled up, and he talked his way into about 15 plays, I guess, or 15 to 20 plays, and that was it. But it's important to him. I mean, it really is. Same thing with Shipley. I mean, we've got guys all across the board. Those linebackers, those guys are always beat up and banged up, and so it's a lot of positives. You guys care, and again, that's what you lean on in times like there's a foundation here. We're not trying to build a foundation. There is a foundation here that is well established, and that's what you go back to, when you're dealing with something like this. And we'll get through it. It'll make us better. Again, as I said, struggle makes you strain, and when you strain, you get strong, and we'll be stronger from what we're dealing with this season. We're going to be stronger this year, and we got a lot of ball left. Season ain't over, first of all. We're going to go fight every step of the way. But no matter what happens and how we finish, man, we got a lot of unbelievable moments ahead. This is one season in the midst of an incredible journey. We've had 13 years of a great journey. Some of the, as good a journey as there's been in college football ever. And there's a whole lot more to come. But in that 13 years, there's been seasons that were kind of, there were some moments along the way and a lot of success. And this is just one of those seasons. We got a long way to go. We got a long way to go. I'm a better coach now than I've ever been. That's for sure. I'm a whole lot better coach now than I was when I started. Our staff's better now than we've ever been. And we'll get it back on track and where we need to be. It'll make us better. We'll look back on it, hopefully at the end of this year or next year or 5 years from now, and say, man, that was a moment in the midst of a great journey. It's not. I'm 51 years old. I mean, I got a long way to go. I got hopefully another 20 years or so of work. So hopefully we can pick ourselves up from this and learn from it and get better. And that's what winners do. So I always tell tough. They always say tough times don't last. Tough people do. The future belongs to those who hang tough. You just you hang tough. You deal with it and you learn from it. And I actually love it. I think it's a great opportunity for us to really grow. You're walking off the field and you probably got about 2,000 people chanting in unison that DJ stinks. Not necessarily the word they use, but that's great for that kid. That's great for him, because that's welcome to this world, And if you're the head coach or you're the quarterback, you're gonna get way too much credit and too much blame too, But that comes with it, and you've got to learn how to embrace that. And I think it's good for him, because it's gonna. He's had a lot of success his whole life, and it's just the way it is. You win a game. I won the national championship. I must have had. It took me a month to reply to all the text messages. A month. Just to give him a fist pump. A month. Fist pump. You lose one, you got 5 text messages. You got your mom, you got your best friend from high school, got my 5th grade teacher, got the preacher. It takes about 10 minutes. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. People have very short memories, but that's what makes this level a lot of fun. And you gotta take the good with the bad, and sometimes you got to go through some of that to really have the right type of perspective, and prepare yourself for the future and all that's coming, So we'll get better from it. We'll get better from it. As I said the other night, and it's God is good at 15-0, and He's just as good at 4-3, and that's just how I look at it. And every time that I've been in the pit of anything, I always, God's always been up to something, and I can always look back somewhere down the road, and I can very clearly see necessary growing pains, and that's kind of where we are. So it's been a year of struggle, year of transition, year of disappointment, frustration, all that stuff, but there'll be some good things spring out of it for sure.